We're just coming up to the end of May, which means that in most areas you'll have passed your last frost date, so it's time to get some of those more tender plants moved on into the final growing area. And I've got two that I'm doing today. One is this melon plant, and it's called Sweetheart. It's in a very tiny pot, but look how much it's grown already. And then we've got this cucumber plant, and this plant has all female flowers on it, and you can see it's grown quite a bit as well. We moved it into a 2-litre container because we didn't want it getting root bound, but once again it's time to move it on. And I'm going to put them in containers this size, not huge containers, but what we're going to do is we're going to put these containers on that veranda, and then we can train these plants to grow around the veranda, so we don't need any canes or an obelisk, and we'll see how it gets on with that. Also, because it's a veranda, if we get any bad winds, which we do sometimes, we can just tie some string around this and tie it to that veranda, so it's got as much support as it needs. I also better be quick because it's just started raining. We've lost that sun for now anyway, but next week it's coming back, and with temperatures at 21 degrees, an ideal time to get these little jobs sorted out. And we've drilled lots of holes in bottomless containers. You don't want them roots sat in water consistently, so make sure you've got plenty of drainage, and that goes for every plant. Let's fill this container and get these plants on the way. Just break up any large lumps that we've got. I'll add some feed afterwards, and while that compost is loose, we'll take the same size tub and make an hole in the centre. A bit deeper, we'll just scoop some out. And we don't want to plant this any deeper than what it is in this container, so let's take a look, and we can see we've got a nice amount of roots, but it's not root bound, which is why we potted it on to start with. So central, firm down, and that quick, that plant's moved on. And we'll get that labelling. What I'll do to start with is I'll pop a couple of stakes in just until it gets a bit of height to it, and I'll use this one which I just found in shed, so I can just push that in straight and down to the bottom, and that's now really stable, and we'll tie this plant to it as it grows. Then if we do get any bad winds, those plants aren't going to get snapped. We don't want that at this time of year. So that's one done. We'll do the same with that melon. Same job again for this one. Just going to have a quick look before I fill this pot up. And that's why we potted that cucumber on. If you keep them in these small pots, they start to get root bound. So if that happens to you, just loosen that off just a little bit to stop them spiralling on the bottom of that pot. And once again, a big pot and lots of drain holes. So that one again has been filled, same pot, make an hole, and then we can just drop that straight in, and once again at the same depth as you took it out that pot. We don't want to bury these stems because they could rot, and if you want to, you can take these little leaves off at bottom. The first leaves that came out, they've done their job. So a quick firm. We'll not bother watering it since it's going to rain all afternoon, and that is his melon setup. So once again, labelling because they look very similar to cucumber plants. And once again, we'll just pop in a short cane just to give it that little bit are extra support. And now this one is also ready to go on that veranda. I'm also adding a bit of colour to that veranda because you can't beat flowers and vegetables growing in the same place. And of course the flowers attract pollinators, which is exactly what we want. So I bought some of these today, petunias, amazing looking flowers. And I just got one of those. It's a dahlia, it's a really pretty one. So what's going to happen is we're going to put some petunias in as a hanging basket on that welcome sign, and then we'll put the dahlia in the centre. We did that last year and it made a really nice display. But we've also got some of these, and these have a reservoir on bottom that just detaches, needs a clean. So if it gets like this and it's throwing it down, you can take that off and let it free drain. But when it comes to the summer and your plants are drying out, you can clip that reservoir back on and that will retain some water so your plants don't dry out. And what I do with that is, again, I'll use petunias and I'll put them in 2 litre pots and they just drop straight in there like that. So we can have 2 plants in this container. And if you remember what happened last year is those plants really filled out and it looked amazing. And we had an amazing display of colour right through to end of season. But I think that is a job for another day. It's not going to stop raining now all day and probably all night. So there we go, all set up in the final growing positions. There is one other job that I need to do, and that's pot on these peppers, and it looks like something has been having a bit of a chew, and that's as mohawk yellow sweet bell pepper. I think I've got around 5 of these to do, so we'd best get cracked on, because this one is starting to flower. But that's definitely not a job for today. So even though it's been windy and raining all day long, we've still got a couple of jobs done, and they're another great addition to this caravan container garden. So that's me done for today. But if you want to see what we're going to be doing as we approach the end of May, please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.